What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a 2015 Tahoe, and I'll show you the front end real quick. So this right here had a recall on it at one point. This one is past the recall date and mileage wise, but this one right here has a recall for brake booster, master cylinder, the vacuum line, and the vacuum pump. So the brakes had gotten real hard on this thing, and it was hard to stop, and they would kind of feel like they would lock up a little bit. So I diagnosed it, and the way you do this is you pull the vacuum line out and you kind of stick something down in there, see if there's oil inside, and if there's oil inside of the tube. This one had oil in a little bit inside the booster and inside the tube a little bit, and that the recall called for, I think, the 2015s. It applies to Suburbans, Tahoes, Escalades, Envoys, Yukons, anything with this body frame right here. But the way it says to do is, if you find the oil in either the booster or the vacuum line right there, that you need to replace the booster, master cylinder, line, the vacuum pump, and the vacuum pump belt. So on this, we're replacing all this today. That's my task for the day. So let me gather my tools, gather my parts. I'm gonna kind of show you the parts first. I think we got everything from GM themselves, so it's all factory stuff. But let me gather that up, and I'll kind of show you part numbers before we even start this. So I'm going to show y'all parts first. This is the vacuum line, GM part number 231352228, and AC deco number is 1789310. That's the vacuum line. Here's the vacuum pump. Don't see where the part number is on this. That should be it right there, 12696313 for the pump. And here's your master cylinder, and right there, 865700064, or the AC deco number is 8657006, same thing. So that's that. And then here is our actual booster right here. See, it's got 4 bolts, bolts it in, then it attaches to the brake pedal, and then the 2 bolts on the front for that. GM number 8460243, and then AC deco 1780911. So that's all the part numbers. So I'm gonna get set up and go ahead and start pulling all this stuff apart. First thing I'm gonna start off by doing is taking the vacuum line off. And there's a safety tab on that connector. Pull it off and roll that out a little bit so I can get my hand behind it. Alright, there's that. And then down there, you'll see that little red piece right here. That is a safety tab as well. And you have to pry that up, I believe, or out one. Get out of there. You too. Oh, why you being a pain? Ugh. Broke it off. That'd be alright. Then it's held on to a Christmas tree fitting. Yeah, there we go. There's your tube off. Something right here. So drop that to the side. Next, I'm going to pull this one off. Come on, ain't you moving? It's gonna come out a little bit more. There it goes. I'm trying to get it to come off. You don't want to break it, but looks like it went that way. I think the leg is stuck in there. Let me pull this one out. I'll figure out what's going on with it. I got it off. What it was is, since that piece broke off, it wasn't allowing the little chain to push down on there. But now I'm going to go ahead and start pulling the master cylinder off. These are 15s. I looked to see what size they were before I put it on camera. So I cheated a little bit to make me sound like I'm good at what I do. But these are 15s, and I do got to get a wrench because I do not know what size the lines are. I'm guessing 16s is what I'm going to guess. But I don't know if a new one comes with bolts, so just hang on to your bolts, or nuts, I should say, not bolts, but hang on to your nuts, because I'm not sure if the new one comes with them. So I'd rather be safe than sorry and hang on to them, which I like keeping some random nuts and bolts, because you never know when you may need them, just for something real quick, just to hold. We hear you, buddy, we hear you. Alright. Now on the one on the driver's side, it will be on a bracket that holds one of the wires, and it's like one of the little rotor piece, like clamp things. Come on, I can get it to pop off. Come on, may have to break it. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut it. Got some pliers. Come on. I know you want to come off. Should come off now. There we go. Now we got those out of the way. This should pull out. Yes. There we go. Actually, what I should have done was broke these lines loose before I did that off. Brain fart moment, people. So, yeah, break your little lines off the side first. We'll kind of stick one just back on here just to hold it for the time being. And I'm gonna get a little bucket or something to sit underneath here just to catch brake fluid so it ain't dripping all over the frame and stuff, because brake fluid is pretty corrosive and it can eat paint and like start to eat the coating off the wires and stuff if you leave it on there too long. So let me get a bucket, stick it underneath there, then we'll break those loose. So I got a used oil container underneath here. And I was almost correct. These are 15s, not 16s, so wasn't off too bad. See it?
Definitely is broken.
Yeah, I didn't even see that until Ralph pointed it out. Might want to, I don't know if that's like a specific bolt that holds that on or just a random 10, but
it looks like a random 10.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's got a bigger washer, but we could probably find something.
It looks like the same ones that hold the
if not,
08 through 14.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could probably find something out in the junkyard on one of those too.
Yeah, it looks pretty common. It looks like all the rest of them more or less. Let me see what I could dig up then.
All right.
We just parked this thing here to get it out of the way, so if you need to move it, we can.
Nah, we're good right now. I just figured probably won't move it until we get that done. There's FedEx.
Probably here next.
I know, that's what I was thinking. Alright, so we got these off. Take that back off. And there we go. I'm just going to stick these back on here for the time being. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go inside and we're going to go ahead and start pulling this off from the inside. And you should have enough room once you break all the bolts loose and all that stuff to clear everything in here. You might have to finagle it a little bit in some weird ways, but you should be able to clear. So let me clean my hands off. We'll go inside and I'll show you where all the bolts are for those. I don't know how well y'all can see that bolt, but this right here holds the booster arm, actuator arm, whatever you want to call it, to the brake pedal. You're going to have to loosen that, and then after you do that, you'll have to pull that clip off. And once I get it off, I'll kind of show y'all exactly how it works. And then in the back, now you can kind of see one bolt right there on the left. There should be 4 of those, 2 on each side. You'll have to take those off and then you can pull the booster out. There's not a lot of room, so I ain't gonna be able to show you any of this stuff. And even if I did set y'all up, y'all wouldn't even be able to really see it. So once I get it out, I'll kind of show y'all what the bolts are, what size they are, how the clip comes off, all that good stuff. And then we'll even, I kind of go over the setup I use to reach the bolts. Alright, we got all the bolts out, and I'll show you the bolts and the little clip and everything here in just a second. One thing I do remember is you got to remove this because it won't come forward enough. I forgot about that. Come on. It must have reconnected on the brake pedal. Hold on. Yeah, that's what happened. The rod connected back onto the brake pedal. And here we go. Alright, there it is with that out. Here is your booster, and we'll see if we can dump some of this oil out. There's not a lot in there, but there's some. It won't come out, I don't think. Yeah. I don't know how well y'all can kind of see down in there. There's oil. See how it's wet in there, and it shouldn't be wet in there. we got it off now. Let me find this clip in all my bolts. So here's that clip. Here's that bolt that just goes into the brake pedal part, and it goes through there. It goes on there like that, and the bolt goes through that. This one has a hair on it, which is kind of nasty, but then there's that clip. And what you're gonna have to do is kind of push it down and then push it out right there, and then pull it back up for it to clear. It's kind of hard to really see what I'm talking about, but like I said, you can see that little piece right there on the bottom. It's got a little hook on it, and that hook's around the little piece on the brake pedal, and you're going to have to push it down, pull it out, and back up. It took me a few minutes to get it. I just used a flat blade screwdriver and it come right out. But now I'm going to get the new booster, go ahead and start installing it. So let me get it out and put it back in. Oh, I meant to show you all the combination I used to get these out, because the bolts on the booster themselves are 15s, and this right here is the combination I used. I used about 9 inches of extensions, a universal, and then a deep 15. So, and they're not super tight. I actually used that little short handled ratchet right there to take them off. So you'll need about 9 inches of extensions, a universal, swivel, whatever you want to call it, and then a deep 15. Just remember, a deep 15 is the key, because they do thread pretty far onto the studs. I got pretty much the brake booster master cylinder back on, got the lines tight, got all the bolts tightened down and torqued, and then I got the line on. I do have it just loose, because our next step is to go ahead and do the vacuum pump. It did not come with the belt. They didn't order that, but we do have all new belts, AC, vacuum pump, and serpentine belt coming, because we're going to have to take them all off anyway. And we have to do the dreaded stretch belts on these. So it's not a major deal. I just typically don't care for that design, but that's just me. I did bench bleed this. I didn't show it. I'm going to go show y'all the procedure now. Looks like it's starting to rain. This GX has been on the lift for about a day and a half now, and I'm ready to get it finished, but that's a different thing. So the way you want to bench bleed this is you are going to get some fittings and some hose, and you're just going to put it in each port, run it over, and put it back in the top of it. And then what you're going to do, you're going to use a screwdriver or something that you can press in the plunger with, and you're going to go as far as you can. I put it in a bench vise, but put it and push it as far as you can, and just do that for a good, minute or so, just or until at least you see all the bubbles come out of it, and quit doing like major air bubbles. But you're just going to do that just because it's going to cycle it through there, and it's going to get all the air out of that system, and it's not going to push it through your air lines. I mean, we're going to have to do a bleed procedure on this anyway, but this will eliminate some of the air out of it. But that's just how you do it. And for anybody who's wondering, well, I shouldn't have laid them in that, but this is an air fitting, like an air chuck, 1/4 inch air chuck. They use the same thread as that, in case anybody's knowing. So if you have any 1/4 inch air chucks for like your air impacts or anything, they'll thread in. You can put you some line over that, and you can go to town on bleeding it. So, but like I said, next step for this is to go ahead and start pulling the vacuum pump off. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to pull this breather piece off. There's two. If I can get it to come off. Come on. She wants to. There we go. So got 2 of these, 1 on each side, and this little gray piece push up on the bottom and pull it out. And then you will have a hose clamp here. Here's your other PCV system piece, and then you'll have a hose clamp there. And you might have like a heater hose or something that's got like a little Christmas tree fitting on there, but you can just pull that out and this will come right out. And then once I do that, I'll show y'all we got a lot more access down inside.